Hey, what's going on, guys? Ben Wu here once again, coming to you live from CanadianMobileAudio.com on this gorgeous Friday, late fall, almost winter for some of you. We decided to do this lunch hour, and hopefully many of you can join us for the next half hour on this brand new series that we've decided to come up with. You know, we've been going pretty steady, pretty hard with those CMA Live presented by SiriusXM podcasts, and I've really enjoyed doing them. So appreciate all the feedback you guys have been sending us. We really do our best to try to come up with the best themes, and we've been fortunate enough to really get on some of the top, professionals, trainers to join us. And if haven't watched those, make sure you check those out. We have every single one on demand. You can check in the video library here on our Facebook page, or even on our website, CanadianMobileAudio.com. Real quick mention, we do have one coming to you next week in the CMA Live series, and that will be OEM integration. Got some really cool guests on that coming in. Make sure you check further down on the Facebook page for all the details about that. Today, however, this is a new departure. This is a brand new video series that we're bringing to the page and to the platform, and it's going to be called CMA Connected. And its purpose is very simple. We have chosen to dedicate 30 minutes in this format, one-on-one, to get to know three groups of people: Canadian distributors, manufacturers, shops, installers, industry professionals, right? So basically anybody who's working in, active, and a major part of the Canadian 12-volt industry, this is going to be the platform moving forward. And you know what? Some of them might be live, some of them might be recorded. We're kind of working through schedules and seeing how that works. But this is it, CMA Connected, brand new series. So without further ado, on the first episode here, we've got an interesting guest. They go by the name STP Canada, Standard Class. It is a sound deadening expert. They've been manufacturing materials and products for 20 years, I guess. We're going to learn all about them. And we're going to find out what is going on with this brand, because I tell you, we've been hearing about it pretty steady from all different sources. We've been seeing videos about it. They seem to be coming to the table with an offering that's quite unique to them. And we thought this would be a great idea to get to know the guys behind it and, learn about some of the products. So without further ado, I'm going to go on and bring on our guest. So we have two guys coming on representing STP Canada. The first one is Mr. Ilya Ryzkov. Let's get him on here. What's going on, Ilya?
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. Very well, very well. And we're also going to bring on Bogdan Gritsenko. Mr. Bogdan, welcome to CMA Connected. There, I said that for the first time. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing great.
Hey, guys.
All right. So
thank you, man, for having us here.
Hey, man, this is going to be fun. I like this because this is a little bit more freestyle. I get to kind of, there's no script. It's a conversation. And really the point of all this is so that, the industry who's watching gets to know a little bit more about you guys, and hopefully you guys can connect with, whoever this connects with. So let's get right into it. Ilya and Bogdan, you guys represent STP Canada, Standard Class brand. There you go, represent on the shirt. It is a brand that is originally from Russia. And obviously from your family names that I see here, you guys may be from Russian descent. I don't want to assume, but I'm going to guess. That's a pretty easy dot to connect. Why don't you talk to us a little about, and I'll start with you, Ilya. What is Standard Class, and what is your involvement with Standard Class here in Canada?
So we are the official representatives of Standard Class brand here in Canada. And we've been in business for over 1 year right now, and we're exclusive representatives. So pretty much we are the only two-person here
that could talk. Or so let me just understand you right. What you're saying is, if I called Russia and I say, "Hey, can I buy some Standard Class product?" you guys will come up immediately.
Yeah.
And when you say, and this is how, folks, just so you know, this format that we're doing here is going to be a lot of questions. My job is to make sure we get the right information from these guys, and so it's going to be a lot of back and forth. When you say you're a representative, does that mean you work for the company, or are you guys like an independent distributor? What is that relationship exactly?
Bogdan, I'll let you answer this.
Sure, Bogdan.
So we work directly with the manufacturer, and we directly represent the manufacturer. So that's kind of how the setup works. We've established this contact with them about 2 years ago, and at that time they were looking for representatives that would be working directly for them and representing Standard Plast as a brand in North America and also in Canada. Since me and Ilya were in Canada, we have decided to kind of start entering in North America from the Canadian side, just because we were locally located in Canada. However, we are now looking at expansion to the United States, and we have a team that is working alongside with us on the US side of things. However, since we're sort of the first two people that have kind of been dealing with this in the last couple of years, they are relying heavily on us for support to kind of help them navigate through the North American market and not only car audio industry, but also the whole industry of not only soundproofing, but anything that has to deal with soundproofing and any vehicle modifications and restoration, things like that.
So let me understand this right. Standard Plast was born as a brand dedicated solely to producing, manufacturing soundproofing or sound deadening material out of Russia. It's been around since when?
So we've been around. Do you want me to go or you?
Doesn't matter. Sure. Ilya, tell me, since when did it come? Like, how long has it been around?
The company has been around since 1996, and the only products that they've been producing are the soundproofing materials. Our portfolio has over like 8,000 different materials designed.
8,000 different materials.
Designed for cars, designed for architectural soundproofing. We have a couple projects with aerospace companies. We have projects with trains, agricultural machinery as well. So it's a wide range of materials, which we're not only specifying on cars. And we only develop soundproofing materials.
Wow, so that tells me a lot, because it this is not a company which has a sound deadening product as one of their lineup, or this is one lane. This is what you guys do. Okay, so that's a very important message that we need people to understand.
Can I add to that quickly?
Absolutely. Ben? Go ahead, Bogdan. Yeah.
So not only we are the manufacturer of, like, we're manufacturing solely the soundproofing material, but we kind of promote ourselves as a scientific research and acoustic integrator in the field of sound, and we also have our own laboratory where we make all the research and we make all the testing before we put any products out to the market. And from a lot of times, Ilya has mentioned specialty projects and specialty applications that we develop our materials for. In a lot of cases, we like the customer or a company, let's say an OEM manufacturer, would come to us with a specific technical assignment, which they would want us to do a research on and address. And then Standard Plast would take that scope of work or technical assignment, which we will break down and kind of try to understand what the source of, whether it's noise, vibration, on what are we looking at, what is the source of it, and how are we going to deal with it, and what sort of materials do we need to develop, and what characteristics those materials should have in order to fit the application and provide the best performance possible.
That is way wider than an answer that I was personally expecting. You know what I mean? Because now you're making me understand the scope of which Standard Plast operates. So now you're here in Canada. You've got your warehouse set up, your logistical footprint down packed. What is the mission now? What is the mission moving forward with STP Canada? Ilya, I'll ask you that.
Okay, so like, when we saw the opportunity here on North American market, our mission right now is, I think, to educate North American market and overall that soundproofing can not only be a car audio industry, that soundproofing your daily ride, you can also benefit from soundproofing your daily ride. For example, like back in Russia, when you buy a new car, the official dealer who sells you the car will offer you soundproofing of it as an option, as an additional option, I should say.
Really?
And a lot of people do that because there's a little bit different mentality in Russia about cars in general. But I think when you educate people on, like, you spend a lot of time in your car, right? And if you can make it more comfortable, you can even, there is a study that if you soundproof your car, that means you'll have less vibration coming to your body when you're driving, and that you actually feel less exhausted, for example. But again, this is kind of anecdotal research, but still. So yeah, like, we know that car audio guys know about soundproofing and they use it. And but on the other side, there's also that huge market that's big for not only us, but for dealers who should think about it as well. And, like, I don't know, I've soundproofed my car. I like it, and I drive a Lexus, and I still soundproofed it.
Absolutely.
So, and
if I can say something here, Ilya, I'm hearing something major from what you just said. So all the car audio shops that are listening in, or if they're not listening live, they're going to hear this. They're going to be like, okay, I've got so many different, sound deadening products to choose from. That's great. What I like about what you said was that there may be a revenue stream opportunity here that we may not have clued in on yet. The luxury car market offering at the dealership level, at the purchase, and whether that's a new car or a slightly pre-owned car, if you guys have relationships already in place with dealers, whether you're doing their car alarm, their starter, their whatever relationship you may have, here's another avenue that potentially could bring more revenue. And that's very interesting, Ilya. Thank you for bringing that up. Bogdan, I got a question for you. Everybody's got challenges in the market. Car audio has its own challenges. When it comes to the category of sound deadening materials, what kind of struggle, what kind of challenges are dealers facing, and what do you have to say about that?
There are a lot of sort of misconceptions on soundproofing materials industry in general. A lot of dealers are thinking or under the impression that all of them are made at the same facilities in China, and no matter what you buy, whether it's the stuff from Amazon, which is no brand, or if it's a more expensive product that is that is being branded and is being promoted heavily. So that's actually completely not true, and that is a lot of times that's what we have to deal with when we deal with dealers. Like, their first stance is, why does it really matter if I use your stuff versus the stuff on Amazon or the stuff that I've been using for the last 5 years? Like, can you explain me what the difference is? And again, all materials, there are a lot of them that are manufactured in China. However, there are a lot of them that are not manufactured in China as well. And one of the biggest struggles is to explain to people. And actually, funny enough, Standard Plast also exports material to Chinese dealers and distributors. So we actually have really heavy presence in Asia, in countries such as China, Malaysia, Taiwan, Singapore including. So that tells that not only our products have a good quality, but they also are very competitive in such a very competitive markets in like Asian markets, where the cost of labor is significantly lower than it is in North America and any other countries, which is making it really hard to compete. But I feel like this would be a great indication that shows that not only we're selling and trying to kind of get the quality product to the masses, but we're not only doing that, but we're also doing it at the in a very cost efficient way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I totally
Sorry,
understand you. I just want to circle back real quick. We got a question from Conrad Leduc out in Sudbury Car Audio. I'm going to
Conrad. Hey, Conrad.
What's going on? First I'm going to show that one. He goes, "Yay, we have some in stock." Then he has a question based on what Ilya said. He says, "Has the test ever been done to make a noise level reading in a vehicle before and after sound deadening has been used?" That's a very valid question.
Yeah, we have at least one video or maybe two on that on our YouTube corporate channel. We actually got Audi A7, I think around 2014 or 2015, and they measured the decibel reading, and then they installed soundproofing materials, and they showed the result. And then not only that, but we also have a Canadian example of Anthony J350. He made a video.
And by the way, guys, we have Anthony in the back still. We'll be bringing him on in a bit. But
I'll let him talk about it.
Yeah.
But he made a video as well, soundproofing Sierra, and I'll let him talk about our future project as well.
Awesome.
I just wanted also to quickly add for Bogdan's point that our products are selling in over 60 countries all over the world right now, and that our products were passed all the ISO manufacturing standards, like 14, 16,000, and there is a potential danger of those Chinese products as well, because they don't care about if product is going to catch on fire, for example, right? Or if it smells or produces any dangerous fumes. Our products, they all have certifications, and
Fantastic.
not only just say that, but we also have OEM manufacturers back in Russia and in Europe who install our products OEM on their
OEM, original equipment.
Yeah.
Very
right.
nice.
So like we actually, those would not be the products that we are marketing here in like North America or Canada, or that are available for like the regular consumer. Those would be, as I was talking previously, those would be specifically developed products that are specifically designed for OEM manufacturers, depending on their technical needs. And on a Russian market and from the countries from ex-Soviet Union, 95% of the OEM manufacturers buy from Standardplast, and we also have a couple customers located in Europe, including Nissan, United Kingdom, that are using Standardplast materials on their assembly lines as well.
Very cool. Circling back a little bit, you're talking about the challenges, and one of the, you brought back that example of one opportunity to capitalize on is through maybe installing soundproofing at the dealer level or at the car sale level. What about at the dealership, like at the shop level in their showroom? Like how do you sell? What is your recommendation, Ilya, on how a shop can maximize their, how to sell it to a customer?
Yeah, so I think the main point right now, you should display soundproofing materials in your shop. And another point, what our dealers can start doing, and what we will try to push right now, is that you should start selling our products by sheets, for example. We've been swamped with requests to sell by sheet, but we can't because it's just not cost efficient to us. But when what we've done, we just addressed those guys who text us on Instagram back to our dealers saying, try them, maybe they will sell you by sheets. And once you put it on display,
it's just so we understand, it comes in a roll.
No, it comes in a box with 14 or 12 folded sheets.
Okay, so 12 or 14. So you're not buying singles or doubles. You're buying a box full of 14. Well, like you said, sheets. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So you can just pop it open, slap a price tag on it, whatever you feel competitive enough, and selling by sheets will actually give you more money at the end because you're selling it at a higher margin levels. That's what we want to again educate our dealers about as well. Not only that, but by displaying our products, like your customers will start asking questions about like, what's that? Why do I need that? Why I don't need that? And we have a wide range of materials, starting from silver, for example, which is our cheapest material, but still has the quality of the higher grade materials. And the price of it is competitive with those you see on Amazon, for example. But if you want to go high end, high level, you go with diamond, which is obviously way more expensive, but then the qualities of it are
Of course,
better than the
you
previous.
get what you pay for.
Yeah. So
no, go ahead. Sorry. Continue.
So we also have a middle line, which is gold, which is our golden price per quality ratio, I think. So as you can see, the problem on the market right now is that you either have cheap sound-ending products selling on Amazon, or you have higher end brands for more expensive price, but there is nothing in between. And our gold line, it fills in right in that middle point here.
Is that what you feel that most dealers are doing well with? Is that gold line?
Actually, interestingly enough, I should actually dig the data, but from my experience right now, I think the diamond arrow is most popular one, because first of all, it's 30% lighter than our gold, and it performs better on a wider range of temperatures, especially on negative side. And the price difference is not that great, to be honest, and dealers just go with the top end.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. Very informative, but we're going to bring in somebody who's actually used your stuff, and I'd like to hear from him, what his experience is. But before we do that, we got our buddy Gatlin with a good question for you. Gatlin from Metro Electronics on there. How do you guys separate yourself in regards to materials used? Where are your products manufactured? Who in Canada do you use for distribution? So, Gatlin, if you're just signing in, most of these questions were answered. Their products are 100%. Now that I'm educated, I'm going to answer for you guys. 100% manufactured in Russia from day one. In Canada, you're looking at the two guys right now that are solely exclusive representation of Standard Plast. And I think if, the last 10 minutes, I think they did a pretty good job explaining what separates them from the rest of the pack. We mentioned Anthony. He's in the back studio. I'm going to bring him in right now. What's going on? Anthony.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad.
Hey, Anthony.
You're joining us from the West Coast?
Yeah.
In the morning?
Vancouver, British Columbia, Maple Ridge.
Fantastic. So where are you right now, Anthony?
I'm at Certified Auto Sound in Maple Ridge. So I'm an installation fabrication technician here.
That's amazing. And you've been doing it for some time. And I met you very recently, obviously virtually. Yeah. But, we've been watching your videos for quite some time. And they've been very, very educational. And we appreciate seeing that stuff because, there's not a whole lot of content creators out there. So kudos to you, buddy. Keep that job up.
I like it.
The first question I want to ask you, Anthony, and don't feel too pressured because you know what? I'm just going to do this so it's less pressure. You see less of their face. What's your experience with the Standard Plast? I mean, obviously, you've been in the game for a while as a technician. You've used other stuff. What's your impressions of it?
When I first started using it, what really brought me to mind is how easy it was to use. So using a variety of products as a technician, you pick sound deadening based on how well it is to work on. Obviously, you have to do your prep. You always have to clean. But when you're rolling it on and you're trying to conform it, that's where I started to see a lot of value. And then after when we're done the job, you listen to the vehicle, you're knocking on the panels, everyone knocks on the panels, and everyone was like in the shop like, wow, that's a really nice deadened thud. And we're not applying a ton of thick material all the time. So that's what really stood out to me is the ease of use.
Mm-hmm. And so is it from a pliability perspective? Is it from the tactile perspective? What exactly is it that makes it easy?
Well, for that question, it depends on what product you pick, because some products require preheating because they're very thick. Other products, like the gold they were talking about earlier, is super easy. It really conforms really well to contours. And also what I like is there a lot of the products like gold or Arrow have little diamonds in them. So when I'm working it on with the roller, you can see the diamonds flatten out and you actually know that you're making good adhesion, because there's some products out there on the market, you're rolling it on, but unless you're really methodical, you can't really tell if it's actually getting good adhesion by looking at it because you can't see the other side.
Wow. Very interesting. See, this is the stuff that only the installer will be able to talk about, guys. I'm sure you're happy to hear this, but as you know, we've got a lot of installers that are watching that will watch if they aren't on right now. Anthony, these guys have been talking a little bit outside the box, even from their approach, the fact that, they do all types of industries. And I was pointed, well, obviously I'm a subscriber on your YouTube channel. If you guys aren't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, Anthony J350. We're just going to pull this up real quick here. Talk to us about what I'm looking at here. I'm going to play it. There's no audio, but what is going on over here? What are you doing here? Talk us through.
Oh, basically, I bought this box from Tyler Nault actually, and I got it used, and
Our
it's
good
a
buddy
really
Tyler from
yeah,
Certified.
yeah, because I work in the same shop. And you see those two panels right there. I use that to write on, and when I would first pull it out, it would make this huge clanging sound. So this is for people that like. It's just funny because people that run toolboxes in the shop, it's kind of like a pride thing, a little competition thing. Everyone always wants to make their setup a little bit better than the other person's. And Tyler bought like this brand new box. I'm like, I wonder if I can make my box like shut better than his. So I started lubricating lubricating the slides and everything just to make it more high end. And then I was thinking, we put this stuff in cars. What happens if I put it in the toolbox? So I started with that drawer that you see right there, and I was like, whoa, it's so much more quiet. So then I just decided, like, hey, like, what if we just rip out all the drawers, clean it all up while we're in there, and actually apply sound deadening to the box? And it's amazing. Like, it just doesn't have that ringing sound afterwards. Like, everyone knows who's watching that has a toolbox, doesn't matter what brand, that unless you have soft closed drawers, there's a reason they don't use soft closed drawers on toolboxes. They don't last, but it'll clang and it'll ring for a bit. And I don't know, when you're taking pride in your work all the time in cars and fabrication, why wouldn't you do that with your own toolbox? You're using it, like, how many times do you open that drawer every day?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what product are you using there? Which line? Which product?
I'm using their Aero. I'm using Aero and Bulk Aero. So I'm using like their best stuff for resonance, because
Which I should add is a bit of overkill using Bomb Aero for this application.
Does Anthony come off as a guy that doesn't overkill everything? Look at that. Look at this. Yeah. So, anyways, okay. Yeah, that's really, really, really interesting. Now, ultimate question: is it better than Tyler's now?
It closes better. It closes quieter. He runs an Epic. That's a master series, but like, I'm honestly, like, I was super happy with it after. Like, I was just impressed, and I came to it the day after because there's a little bit of adhesion cure time. And the next morning, I'm like, okay, like, that's like, this is why we use this stuff. It was like, I can now use it when I bring a customer in. Like, if you have two toolboxes next to each other, I can just bring them into the shop and like, hey, listen to this toolbox, and now listen to mine. And it adds more value, and it makes you think to use, like, what if I use it in my kitchen sink? What if I use it in my dryer?
Lots of applications.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Like you just make your life better by adding like simple quality product like this.
Awesome.
So we actually
yep.
Just quick note on this. We actually have a partner in Canada here in Toronto that purchases our material for their assembly line of dishwashing
equipment for commercial.
For commercial use.
Like for commercial, like big restaurants and stuff. So they've reached out to us, and they were looking for some sound deadening materials.
I see. Okay.
In order to use during their manufacturing process, and they are obviously not using what Anthony was using because
Anthony went all out. Yeah,
exactly.
He probably doesn't need that.
They're using the most budgetary line of sound deadeners, and the feedback we've been receiving is great. So,
good.
Anthony, thank you for bringing up a great point about the other possible applications of sound deadening materials. You're completely right. Sinks, anything, like even piping from time to time, depending on what the pipes are for, you could use some of the sound deadening there. And every year, like pretty much like every year, we see more and more niches and fields for applications of the soundproofing materials. And like in the last 2 years, our production grew 50%, and the market of soundproofing, not only car audio or automotive industry, has grew over 30% as well.
Amazing. Amazing.
If I could add one technique to that, if you look, anyone that works on a Dodge Ram, if you look at a 1500, they have these counterweights for resonance welded to the side of the frame. So what I do with the sound deadening is, if you make like a small square, I will build it up thick, and I'll turn it into like a little weight for like a carburetor, for example, and I'll stick it on the carburetor. That way I'm not covering the whole thing. So that way, if the motor gets hot, it still can dissipate heat, but then that little thick square will act and it'll absorb the weight. You see that on transmissions too, like my 350Z, there's a bolt that has a big weight on it to capture resonance.
Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. Hey, Anthony, one real thing, I've heard about the Sierra project. So real quick, before we let you go, tell me in 1 minute what this new future project is all about.
Okay, so previously we did a Ram. Now we're onto a Sierra to show the GM crowd something. So we're going to strip the Sierra completely, and we're going to go over snippets of where we're applying it and how, and maybe a little bit disassembly. So that way the GM crowd can see what it takes to actually apply the stuff to their vehicle and see the value and what's lacking from the manufacturer.
Very, very, very cool. Hey, Anthony, thank you so much for taking the time with us today. I'm sure
Awesome.
the boys
Thanks,
appreciate it. We'll be talking to you sooner rather than later. Take care, Anthony.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, guys, we're at the last little bit. I want to wrap it up real quick. You know, obviously, it's Black Friday, guys. Is there anything that we can share with people that we want to tell people about, Ilya?
Of course. We currently have 30% deal for our retail market and for dealers. Actually, if you are our dealer, we sent out an email almost 2 weeks in advance to announcement it on our website. So dealers were able to purchase 30% off 2 weeks from now. And they still can. Not only that, but if a dealer writes to us and interested in product, we will give them additional 5% discount to 30% already right now. If they mention that they came from you, Ben, from this podcast.
Hey guys, did you hear that? Don't mention my name. Tell them CMA sent you, that you're watching CMA Connected. The boys at STP have this great offer, an additional 5% on top of the Black Friday 30%. When does that offer expire for the dealers as well? Also November 29th?
Also November 29th.
Yep.
But sorry, I think I should mention that dealers get their own pricing, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's 30% off dealer price.
Of dealer price. So retail market, if you're a consumer, you might be watching this, go ahead on the website. You got until the end of day on the 29th to get 30 off. But if you're a dealer and you want to get in and want to try some of this STP stuff, get it shipped to you. 30 off dealer cost plus an additional 5% if you call these guys before the end of the 29th. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on my very first CMA Connected. I hope you guys had fun. But more importantly, hopefully the people at home got to know you guys a little bit better. More information, of course, check out stp-canada.com. Find them on Facebook. We link them all the time. Check out, go to canadianmobileaudio.com, do a search for STP, and you'll find all the articles and all that stuff. Big shout out to Anthony. Guys, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon enough.
Thank you for having us, Ben.
Thanks,
Thank
Bogdan.
you for having us, Ben. Thank you for the opportunity.
Great.
Thank you, guys. See
you next time. So there you have it, guys. That's a wrap on our first CMA Connected, STP Canada, sound deadening experts. Hope you enjoyed this little portion that really gets some insight as to some of our Canadian businesses, whether they're in a retailer level, distributor, or in this case, manufacturer level. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Stay tuned. We're going to have a lot more of these CMA Connected videos coming your way. So that's it for today. Until next time, we connect.